He said, we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities and powers. What's the big deal? An architect. Well, the Bible talks about familiar spirits. There are spirits that know you. They're not going to tempt you with hot dogs because you're vegan. I can't get no help here. They're familiar. They watch you grow up. They know your proclivity. They know your struggle. They know what'll tempt you and what'll turn you on. They're familiar. So the principality is an architect. He draws out a plan to ruin your life, your marriage, your ministry, and your money. The principality draws out a plan. And once the architect draws the plan, the power comes to build what he drew. I don't understand. All right. If you're going to build a house, you don't build a house on brick and mortar. You build a house on paper. I'm moving too fast. Okay, the Bible says, except the Lord build a house, they that labor, labor in vain. Why would he say they that labor, labor in vain, except the Lord build a house? Because the Lord builds a house by his words, and you got to put together what he said. Architect comes first, building comes second. So there are plans drawn out against you to not allow you to make it. That's the architect, that's the principality. But the power comes behind it to build what's going to try to destroy your life. But there's a clause in the contract. I feel something pushing me now. The clause in the contract says, no weapon formed against you shall prosper. So Paul says, he says, no principality nor power. Now sit in this chair, preacher. Come here, Pastor Scott. Sit down in this chair. Sit there. Now, a principality is drawing out a plan. So he's sitting at a table. Now, you as a praiser have to learn that when he says we wrestle not against flesh and blood, he's not talking about you getting into a fisticuff or even getting into a UFC or WWA. No. He's talking about something different. That word wrestle has to do with praise. So in other words, if he's sitting at the table, fix your hands like you're drawing out something, like you're drawing something on the table. Yeah, you're drawing something to ruin Elder Lane's life. You're drawing something out. But then when you start praising God, that word in Greek for wrestle, it means to vibrate. It means to vibrate or shake the table. That's why when you're going through, you can't go through quiet. You got to know how to give God praise right while you're in it and shake the table. All right, let me explain. See, while he's writing out a plan, the principality, your praise is interrupting his ability to use penmanship and draw out his plan. And if he can't draw it out, the power can't come and build it. In other words, your praise will interrupt the plan of the enemy. That's why when you say, I'm going through, well, I'm going to give God praise